Good morning. My name is Martin Luke, and I'm delighted to be joined this morning by Mo Khan, CEO of hVIVO. hVIVO this morning published their interim numbers for the first half of 30th June 2024. Pretty impressive numbers, I must say. Mo, good morning to you.
Good morning, Martin. Thank you for having me on again.
Good, no problem at all. It's a pleasure. Mo, I mean, revenue growth this morning reported 30% increase in revenue. What were the main drivers behind this growth, and do you expect this trend to continue into the second half?
So we hit I think just over 35 million pounds in revenue for the first half at a really good EBITDA margin as well, which I'm sure we'll come to. So our guidance for the rest of the year is to get to 62 million pounds by the end of 2024, and we're in line to get that. But the first half has been quite hectic for us. It's been quite transformational. So not only did we deliver these numbers at a good margin, but from an operational point of view, we moved into a new facility. So this here, where I'm sitting now, is the world's largest human challenge trial unit. So we have a 50-bed upstairs quarantine facility. We also have a double the size in our laboratory capabilities. And we've just completed the doubling up of our outpatient facility in Whitechapel. On top of that, we ran 3 different facilities the first half of this year. We also had a record number of volunteers go through the inoculation process. So yeah, all in all, an amazing first half of the year and looking really good to hit our overall targets for 2024.
Indeed, indeed. Well, you and the team have certainly been busy. You touched there briefly on EBITDA. I mean, I noted a note from the numbers is up by 67.6%, pretty impressive. And the margins as well, up by sort of 24.5%. So what were the operational efficiencies that you implemented then for this improved profitability?
So one of the key drivers for that was the fact that we were asked by some of our clients to accelerate their projects from second half into the first half. So we did this by adding this new facility here. So at some point, we were running 3 different facilities at the same time, and that improved our utilization in both our resources as well as our facilities, to which, of course, resulted in improved margins. On top of that, we've improved the way we recruit our healthy volunteers using our FluCamp platform. So we've seen that we're much more efficient and much more cost-effective in the way we recruit volunteers into our studies. And the third part to this point is the fact that we have, through automation, reduced costs and increased efficiencies. And that's something we are in the middle of doing, actually. So we will see the kind of the total fruition of that in 2025, but already we're beginning to see some of the efficiencies in that automation processes, and hopefully long may it continue.
Good stuff. And also noted you've got quite an impressive pipeline and contracted order book. You've highlighted in there short to medium term opportunities valued around £40 million, fully contracted 2024 revenue target. Could you provide any more detail on the nature of these opportunities and how they position hVIVO for the long-term growth?
Yeah. So the order book is weighted, by the way. That's quite important, because we look at each award and we assign a probability and say what are the chances of us converting that full contract into revenue. So we use that as a metric to be able to reduce volatility in what we do and what we run going forward. So that's one key. So as you say, 71 million pounds at the end of June of this year. It's a very healthy pipeline, considering that we also burn through record revenue in the first half of the year. So it's a really great achievement by the team. But on top of that, the order book looks the pipeline looks really strong. So we have around 14 million pounds of what we call short to medium term opportunity that we're looking to close. But what really kind of pleases me really is the fact that not only is the pipeline of opportunity in a more diversified challenge models, but we're now also seeing opportunities in hLab, in patient recruitment services, as well as field studies. So we are looking to de-risk what we do. And I think even though we will remain at our core, a human challenge trial CRO, it's always good to continue to de-risk and diversify the kind of the services you offer, and all these ancillary services will help us, the top achieve our top line and our bottom line targets, because we expect to deliver these services using the existing infrastructure. So that to me is a huge plus.
You also mentioned expansion and automation. I know we touched on this last time with your new facility there down in Canary Wharf, and but you also mentioned today the greater use of automation as key growth enablers. How do you see these developments transforming sort of the offering to the customer?
So from a customer point of view, I think there's the three key things that I would envisage that they would expect to see. So one is an improvement in quality. So that's one of the things. So we're consolidating three different facilities under one roof. So much tighter network of people working together, but also improving quality with regards to speed. So as an example, we used to take blood samples from our healthy volunteers in one building, and then they had to be walked across to where the laboratories are. Now we have the quarantine facilities on the 25th floor. We have the lab on the 24th floor, and we have a pneumatic tube system, which basically takes 7 seconds for the lab samples to travel from the patient's room to the lab. That's an example, right? So quality, speed, and cost as well. So that's the other thing we're looking to kind of improve on. So on all three facets, it should improve our delivery to our clients.
So that pneumatic thing is much the same as we see in a supermarket when they're transferring cash from the register tills, or used to anyway. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I think people of a certain age do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Yeah, it's
Before
like
it all went digital.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. So it's an amazing system, and it works so fast. And it's like we had our Capital Markets Day in July, and that was one of the highlights for the people who were visiting around and what we're seeing, that pneumatic tube working, and it will improve on the quality and the speed of us managing and processing our lab samples.
And that doesn't damage the samples at all then? Does it kind of the speed or anything, or it's all
quite... Oh, no, not at all. So remember they're enclosed into they're in a test tube. That tube is enclosed in an additional cylinder, which then goes through the chute. So absolutely, no, the stability of the samples is intact.
Okay, that's fascinating. We also touched on M&A strategy, and we've covered before the £100 million in revenue you've got targeted for 2028. And that's through both organic and sort of small bolt-on acquisitions. Are you able to share any more details on the sort of type of acquisitions you're considering, and how these would complement existing operations?
Absolutely. So the 100 million goal, we think will be 85-90% there through organic growth from the human challenge trials and the other ancillary services we're looking to expand. But the rest, 10-15% of revenue, we predict to come from M&A bolt-on services, as you mentioned. So these are basically companies that are providing services that are adjacent to what we are already offering. So things like potentially a phase 1 unit, or clinical consulting services that the Venn Life Sciences, our second subsidiary, runs. Patient recruitment services is another one. Laboratory services is another one. So what we want to do is to use our existing infrastructure and our existing information technology capabilities and the databases we have to be able to provide additional services. And one of the things, as you move into new services, the key thing you lack is pipeline, and that's what was key for us. We know we can do a lot more, but we need to buy in the pipeline of demand from clients through the acquisition to be able to run that. So I'm very kind of hopeful that in the next 12 months we should do something, but I'm not going to rush into this because it's not like there's another challenge trial CRO in the US or anywhere else in the world that can go and acquire. So we have to be a little bit smarter in finding the right target. So of course, time is important, but getting the right asset, I think, is more important.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with buying in revenue personally. I think it's always a good thing. Well, no, listen, I know you've got a very busy day ahead of you and 1,000 people to speak to. So I thank you so much for your time this morning, and best of luck. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. I appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you.